And about data mining, we are going through the issue about the association rule. That means you will find the if then from cause to consequence, the relationship between them, and then we will find some useful rules and to predict something. The most of time we use the association rule to manage the important rule for some marketing phenomena. For example, if a customer have some special behavior, then he will purchase some product or something like that. So we'll have some to go to the week 4 and week 5. Okay. Then first, let's take a short review about let's slide talking about the cluster. Okay. Cluster, today we are talking two models. One is K-means. The second one is hierarchical. Actually, is will be a tree type. It will be a type of tree. At the same time, we also provide its corresponding algorithms. Okay, what is clustering? Actually, clustering is everywhere, just like we had a short discussion last week. Most of the time, we cluster, try to find the gap of the chance in the market. So we have a very basic concept before clustering. We must know the samples within a cluster. They should have the very similar characteristics. And if the point of the sample from different cluster, actually, I think they will vary very much. I think it's the basic concept about the cluster. And of course, within such a concept, I think we can develop the corresponding algorithm by our own, because you just follow this logic, and actually you can develop many algorithms. And so actually, if you go into, let me take a short review about, if you go to, for example, if I type like Google Scholar, okay, I think everyone know Google Scholar. So I type Google Scholar, and you just type the keyword. Yeah, just cluster. Okay. Actually, all clustering. Then you try to find. So you can see a lot of sample, a lot of article, right? Yeah, almost 8 million. Almost 8 million. So many. Okay. Yeah, so if you try to find the latest article, still, as you can see, still many clustering algorithms are under construction and under development, many. So that means this field actually is very attractive to the scholars who try to launch the big data analysis. So I think you can also try this field to try to begin your maybe student project or term project from this field. Okay, then go back. And layer 2, I say layer 2 mainstream about the clustering or clustering algorithm. One is under supervision. The way you under supervision actually is the K-mean. You can see it here about this one K-mean. The other one actually you can let it grow freely, no, without supervision. That is the tree model. So tonight I think we'll both of model, you will have time to practice each of them. This is a very simple graph. I also shown you this idea, okay, in the in some minutes in the next week. For example, if you collect a data sample with only 2 dimensions, for example, maybe one is you collect some milk, maybe one is the fat, okay? If y-axis denotes the fat and the x-axis denotes the sugar, okay, the sugar, yeah. And we also, this value are presented by percentage, okay, by percentage. So if you collect the consumer preference from the market, maybe you can draw this sample, okay, by this scatter diagram like this. So, but if you are very lucky, because most of the time I think the samples are not scattered so perfectly, because you can easily to define 3 groups here. But most of time, if you collect sample from the real market, all you need maybe is a mass, okay, a mass scattered everywhere. You need to find the key component or key causes to try to classify them into some specified groups. Okay, so in this 3, actually you can simply specify the customer into 3 preferences, right? And that, for example, this one, actually I think they are very has a heavy test because they like the higher fat and the higher sugar, right? This one, and this maybe we can call this the consumer group as maybe more healthy group because he prefer less fat and less sugar. Okay, and when we finish the clustering, actually I think it's the most important is that you should find the gap. Now the gap may be not available in the market so far. So for example, this place, or this place. But once you try to penetrate into the new market, actually you also need to know they also have 2 possibilities, you know, because this FNT market may present the because it's not valuable. This is one possibility. The other possibility is no one ever explored, or no one ever explored these places. Okay, so when the data, if you collect from multiple dimensions, for example, maybe you have a prices, right? You have the fat percentage, you have the sugar percentage for the milk. Now you have three dimensions. Then if you scatter this point into the space, you need a 3-dimensional space, okay, and to classify them into some specified groups. Of course, if you have more dimensions, actually, in reality, most of the time we face as more than maybe 3 or 4 dimensions, because if you want to describe a customer behavior, maybe you will need to provide the causes, maybe for example, maybe about the customer is female or male, right? Education degree, maybe his about the salary level, okay, about the preference, about the fat percentage, about the sugar percentage. So you see, I already collect five variable already. Okay, about clustering, how to different? Actually, they are present in a vector space. So this issue is strongly related to the linear algebra. So if you are interested in this issue, most every point we build is a vector. It is a vector. So sometimes you need the basic knowledge about the linear algebra. And the centroid, sometimes you can call it gravity. The centroids are not dense normalized. They are not normalized. So I think we need a notation about similarity and distance. And about this issue, actually, I view it as another advanced issue because later in the association rule, I will show you a topic about affinity. So in such a case, actually, you can define your similarity. You can define your similarity and not limit it and not the constraint to the our well-known equilibrium space. Most of the time, we in the geometric space, it's a equilibrium space. And how many cluster? Actually, it's decided by you. It's arbitrarily decided. And it's comparative data driven. Yes, but if you fix, for example, if you fix the number of the clusters, sometimes, and maybe your data will tell you a good or bad story. So you can see this is the point. If we go to machine learning, go to the field of machine learning, actually the enough size for your sampling, I think is very important and necessary. Also, please ensure you can collect enough data, okay, for cluster. Otherwise, I think the output may be not so satisfying. Okay, and now let's see the clustering algorithm. There are some. Okay, tonight I think I will focus this week about one is k-mean clustering. Okay, and the other one is the tree, or you can call this a agglomerative algorithm. Actually, it's like a tree. It's like a tree, and we'll explain the details how you clustering lamp. So we'll have the steps. We'll have the explanation. We also provide some math about mathematical formula from step to step to help you understand the details about how this algorithm runs. Okay, and let's see. This is the k-mean method. Okay, now we go into the k-mean method, the first one, and let's see how it goes. First, partition method. Actually, it constructs partition of n document into the set of k clusters. So that means you must have n samples. Okay, you must have n samples. Okay, the number of size is n, and the given what you should given before clustering. And I think a set of document and the number of k. So this you must prepare in advance. Okay, you must prepare it in advance before clustering. Then find what do you got? You will find a partition of k cluster, and the case that how it comes. That atomizes the children partition criterion, and the normal criterion we use is about distance, because I have told you. Let's go back to this graph. This is the dimension, 2 dimension, right? We can simply explain this point are scattered in a 2-dimensional plane. That means sometimes we can call it simply by x and y plane, right? 2. So you must know each point here, actually, it will possess 2 attributes. One is the value from x-axis. The other is the value from the y-axis, right? For example, this point. So how far? For example, how far is this point to this point? This distance, actually, we can use this distance as the index for similarity, right? If the distance is long or is far, if these 2 points are far away, that means they are not so similar, right? Also, please remember what I have told you, because it is the two-dimensional Euclidean space. So we can use the normal distance function to compute the straight line between these two and define if they are close or not. And for example, they are far away from this point, so maybe they are not similar. But this pointer is very close to this one, right? Very close. Their distance is short. When you say close, you can see actually we can define distance is very short. So that means this pointer is much likely that in this one, but rather than this one. Okay. So now, so if you go back to here to see the distance, now maybe you will have some basic idea, because the distance function is very fundamental. It's very important when we start in K-mean, when you start in the K-mean clustering. Okay, so you see now we provide some formula, basic formula. The first step assume and we have a real value vectors. We have this means the preference, okay, just like this. Okay, now we use a marketing example so that you are easier to understand what I told you. For example, if you already collect the preference for the milk from the market, and these are the vector points, right? This point could be presented in vector form. Okay, so they are all real value vectors, and the class-based centroid. Sometimes we call it a gravity. Okay, center of gravity. Centroid and centroid, or mean. And how to compute this one? You can see you can use this one, and this is the distance. Okay, so we know actually we can find that the centroid of many points. Actually, that's the that's it very concept is very similar to let the average distance for each point, right? The centroid. So if you are interested about this formula for detail, okay, I can give you a more detailed example like this. Just a moment. Because it's a very basic concept in geometry. Yeah, like this. Okay, centroid the formula. Just like this. Yeah, so right, if you have 3 points, okay, just like I have tell you you have the 3 customer preference ABC, okay, 3 points, and now you have they scatter on the 2-dimensional plane like this. So how to compute their the center of gravity? You just use this. Please see the formula. For example, you have 3, okay, you sum the side, okay, or the value of x from the x side and divided by the sample size, maybe n. Okay, here our sample size is 3, and for the other side of y, you do the similar way, right? Summing all the y value and divided by the sample size, for example, n. Yeah. So if you have n sample, right? You have n samples. Now you just extend the formula like this. Okay, so that's the centroid of this sample. Okay. So now we got the centroid, right? Yeah, we got the centroid. Okay. And now we reassign of the instance to class on distance. Yeah. And when we to reassign the point to a specified group, actually it's I must say it's a iterated steps. Okay, it's a iterated step. You cannot compute, you cannot finish all the steps at once. That's not impossible. Later I will show you by graph. Okay, by graphical illustration that I think is more easier for you to understand. Okay. Now let's see its logic. We select K random. For example, the K you must given first. Okay, you must given K. And for example, now I try to divide my sample, my collecting sample into 3. Okay, now in such a case, K is 3. So you have 3 groups. Until clustering converges. Okay, the converges, you also may set up some possible condition. For example, you can iterate your algorithm until the iteration, the number of iteration reached, then you stop. This is one step. Or you can also use the arrow. For example, you can check the arrow from the previous iteration to the current iteration, or you can see the difference to see if it's converged to a very small number like epsilon. So you can set such criteria in your coding. Okay, and for each, so you can for each. Okay, for each sample, we assign this sample to a cluster, such that the equilibrium distance about xi stay as minimal. This is our objective function. Okay, and for each cluster, actually you can find for each cluster, actually you can compute, okay, its closeness or similarity for this cluster CJ. Okay, this is the common logic we're setting up about the clustering algorithm about k-means. Okay, now I show you a very simple figure. Okay, after that, I think I will encourage you to try our first one. Yeah, because I provide the cluster algorithm for you, so you can try. Okay. You see, assume 2 groups. The following example, I will subjectively assume K is 2. Okay, K is 2. That means I try to separate it. I try to classify my my sample as 2 groups. Okay, so the following example within my graphical presentation, please assume the K is 2. Okay, now we go here. Assume the first one, we assume 2 groups, and of course, once you decide, because the assuming once you subjective, for example, you can just, for example, just you can, let me show you. Just I use this one. Use here. Okay. No, this one. Sorry, this one. For example, now I subjectively like this. Oh, here. This one. Okay, better. Okay. This is your in the first step. You just subjectively, okay, subjectively to assign the point into 2 groups, okay, as you wish, as you expect. So, different people come here. Maybe you will have a different the separation line like this. Okay, I use this. So in such a case, we know 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, maybe this one also 7. These 7 points, we can compute the centroid. Okay, the center of gravity of this 7 point, right? Yeah, so you can get one center point, for example, like this blue one. And the other one, 1, 2, 3, 4, also 7. You can compute another centroid for the second group, for example, the red group. These two group, one is blue, one is red. So the first step, now you get the point by your subjective assignment, and you also get the centroid of each group. Is that clear? Okay, so the first step is just like this. Okay. And after that, second one. Now we calculate Euclidean distance of each point assigned to the closest group. Okay, now we go to the second one. We compute again because you already get the centroid, right? You already get the centroid. So just a moment. Okay. Because you already get the centroid in the previous step. So now you can compute all the sample to each centroid, because now you have 2. Then reassign again, right? Then you can assign to the closest group. So you follow, iterate the step. And after that, now again we go to the step 1. Once you finish your assignment, you can recompute the centroid for each group, right? You can recompute because you already reassignment in this step. Okay, so now, okay, maybe you say, okay, you are blue, you are plus side, you got the red side, you recompute. Okay, then you iterate. So actually K-means is quite simple. 1, 2, 3. You follow this 3 step, iterating length until your stop criteria is met. So again, iterating the previous step until convergence. Okay, so that's the basic idea about K-mean. And when you try to terminate your program, several possibilities. For example, a fixed number of iteration. Okay, that's one way. Maybe partition unchanged, or maybe centroid position don't change. Or that means, and what I have just told you, because maybe the you can try on the coordinate for the previous, right? Because you have the coordinate for the previous iteration and the coordinate value for the current iteration. So you can compare, or you can also try to compare if these 2 values are very close, or little error, very close to specified value like epsilon. So you can stop, Okay. Okay, I think this is yeah, the big. Please notice this one. Okay, this one, because yeah, number of iteration could be large. Okay, yeah. If your stop criteria is not a appropriate set, maybe sometimes you face the problem about convergence. That means maybe it's very hard to convergent. Okay, and this is the formula. Okay, you can use this one because this also the equivalence about the distance. Okay, this is also the formula about. And this one, okay, yeah, you try to make this minimum. Okay, so this just tell you because here it's just try to prove. Okay, once you can reach the minimum, Okay, reach the mean. He tried to persuade you like calculus. That's the following condition. This will be met. Okay, this will be met. And the complexity. Of course, if your sample size is large, maybe you're fast about the difficulty, okay, of combinatorial optimization. Yeah. But it depends. Actually, it depends on your data size. Okay, but tonight I think I show you is a smaller data set. So if you are later, if you are already running a real project and you have big data, you will face the problem like this. Okay, about the complexity. Okay, you can tell me. Maybe I will show you another advanced technique about the clustering. So that's why, remember, I just told you why so many papers are discussed in the Google Scholar about clustering, because maybe someone he or she find you can use a much easier way, most cost-effective way, time-effective way to find the appropriate partition for the large data set. Okay, so now let's see the model. Okay, let's look at the model. After that, I think I'll give you some time for you to practice this model. Let's take a short look. Okay, just a moment. So I show to you. Okay, I think this document maybe have some problem, so I need reload because I find my computer maybe is older. Okay, don't know why. Okay, so just a moment. Okay, I will share to you soon. I don't know why. Just a moment. Okay, it's better. Just a moment. Okay, now we go back. I see the finger now. Yeah, so you just click on the share the link. I give it to you. Then you will go here. I think I'll give you 5 minutes, okay? About 5 minutes for you to run this model. So again, you see this one, this two, Lumpy, MP, Pandas, and this is now we are all familiar with this is the for plotting, right? For plot, pie plot. Okay. And I think this is new one. So this is from the scikit-learn data set. Then import a data set. That can use Matplotlib. This is a data set, just a data set. Okay. And from this, okay, so this one you see, he directly imported came in the library. That means later I will use this one. So a very easy way. For example, and now I randomly generate 300 samples. Okay, and the centers is 1. Okay, and you can give 1. Okay, give a. So this is the plot. One is from the x dimension, the other from the y dimension. So you can give a plot like this. And after that, I try to please give me 2 clusters. Okay, so you see now I try to make a cluster is equal to 2. Okay. Now please fit my data. So he will give you again. Now this is the centroid for these 2 clusters. Okay, maybe this is 1. The next is 1 because we didn't make it show to the similarity for each sample. We just plot the centroid of these 2 group. Okay, this is a very simple problem. So you can try, and of course you can try to modify. Maybe if you 3, you can try to see where are these 3 red spots. Where are they? Where are they will be located? Okay. So now I encourage. Okay. I give you maybe 5 minutes. Okay. 5 minutes. Okay. Everyone try to practice this one. Please go ahead. Okay, I think I will be back about 49. Okay. 6:49. So please, try to run this program. You can also make, for example, you can make it sample size smaller, larger, make a more cluster, and make a try to see what you find in your program. Okay, I hope you enjoy my program. Okay, and about this one, I think I can make additional introduction about this one. And sometimes I call it Scikit-learn, and I'll show you. You can check. It's very popular. If you want to download some data sets, actually this is also popular from Python. So you can. Yeah, just like you see, I just type this Scikit-learn, then it's also automatic show data sets. So there are many data sets here. These are free. So yeah, what data you want? Many, okay, many data sets. So you can also try go into you use, okay, to use the prepared data sets. You can also try different, like here, okay, you can also try this one. Okay. So you can see many. Maybe next week when we talking about the neural network, we can also go back here to see different data sets. Again, many data sets. Okay. Okay, now let's go on. The next one will show you about the tree. Okay, that means it's an unsupervised, or it's an unsupervised clustering. K means is a supervised method for clustering. Okay, build a tree based hierarchical maximum. This also we call is a dendrogram. Dendrogram from a set of documents. For example, animal, we can classify it into vertebrate or invertebrate, right? And the vertebrate, maybe we have fish, we have mammal.
Sir?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, your share screen is freeze. I can see your screen.
Oh, you cannot see my screen? Okay, just a moment.
Yeah, it's still at model. Okay.
And can you?
Yes.
So until the model you can see the model, okay?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, now I talking about the next one is about hierarchical clustering. Okay, so it's an unsupervised clustering. For example, animal. Maybe you collect a lot of animal data sets. Animal could be classified into vertebrate or invertebrate, right? And vertebrate, you find a fish and more, and in vertebrate, maybe you find the worm, insect, okay, something like that. So what time and in what case we will use hierarchical clustering? Actually, it's quite often once you collect your customer data, right? Because maybe you have some economic or social variable characteristic of the respondent, right? You maybe, for example, maybe this is customer. So here, this is male, this is female, right? And go back here, maybe it's a high education, okay, middle education or low education, and more, right, about salary. So from each level, actually, from each level, it represents a variable, okay, a variable you want to separate them, or you want try to classify it. So if you have a need like this, you can use hierarchical clustering. Actually, it's a tree, the tree structure. So every time you finish a questionnaire for your respondents, actually, I think I encourage you can use hierarchical clustering for overview for this for the survey, okay, for these respondents. Okay, so you will see a figure like this, okay, and this is by cutting, okay, cutting the dendrogram at a desired level. For example, if you only have 2 groups, then you must go here. Again, I use the adjustment. Okay, if you want to 2 groups, you cut here because you have 2 groups, right? You want to 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, you cut here, right? 4, right? Yeah. So if you go into detail, you have more group. But I think in such a case, maybe such a information is not so necessary because we'll try too trivial. Yeah. So sometimes on the clustering, I hope you can find it by your desired level at the higher level. I think it will be more appropriate at the higher level. Okay, next one. So okay, and here we use a algorithm we call that agglomerative clustering. This is really special pronunciation, agglomerative clustering. Okay, and we start with each sample point in a separate cluster. Then we repeatedly join the closest pair. Well, this is the idea of the logic of cluster until there is only one cluster. Okay. And the history of merging forms a binary tree or hierarchy. This is what we did during the process. And the closest pair cluster, actually you can choose many variants to define the closest pair cluster. For example, you can use a single link. This means similarity of the most constant similar. We call it a single link. Of course, you can. So later, actually, these are the parameters. Okay, so please remember these 4 words. Actually, later when I show you the tree diagram, please you can try different clustering method by changing the parameter setting. Okay. And the complete link is similarity of the furthest points. Okay, the least cosine similar. This is the complete. If you set it as companion, and you can also use the centroid. This is the same similar thinking about the k-means, and you can also use the average link. So later, I think it will show you one by one how this distance will be computed in the math, in the mathematical formulas. And let's think. Let's look at this slide. Single link, agglomerative clustering. First one, you use the maximum similarity of pairs like this. You define the similarity. And how do you define the similarity? Actually, you try to find the similarity between 2 points and maximizing length. That actually is very similar to the idea in maybe in your higher grade, you will learn about the operational research. Okay, yeah, all the points, there's similarity. I try to maximize length. Okay, and it will result in strategically maybe long or thin cluster. Actually, because due to your training effect. And after merging CI and CJ, the similarity of the resulting cluster to another cluster CK is defined by like this. Okay, and the similarity about the CK actually is the this is the true value. Okay, one is the similarity about a CIK, the other one is the similarity about CJK. Okay, this is the mathematical formulation to define how agglomerative clustering in single link. Okay, this one in single link. This is the computation. And of course, you can use the group average, right? Similarity could also define as 2 clusters, and averaging, you can average in the similarity of all pairs within the merged cluster. And the formula is just presented like this. Okay, this is the norm. You know, norm, this means the number of elements within this set. Okay, so this is the norm, and this means the number. So if you remember, we use the function len. Okay, in Python. Yeah, len. When you use the len function for a specified set, actually that means the norm of the set. That means we will compute the number, okay, of the elements in a set. Okay, so that's the same meaning about this one, the norm. And please find this. So this have 2 sigma. Okay, one, the first one is a similarity, computed the x or y similarity, and for the y actually is from CI and CJ. Not so this these 2 elements cannot be identical. Cannot be identical. Okay. And after we sum it again, all the x, the first from the y side and the second from the x side. So this the whole side. Okay, we compute all the similarity and averaging, just like he said, averaging all the similarity and get this value. Okay. Okay, and computing grouping average similarity, we use this one. We use this function. Maintain the sum of vector in each cluster. And also we compute the similarity of cluster in constraint, in constant time. Sorry, in constant time, all the way like this function similarity between the I and J. We use this one. So again, please not maybe if I provided the formula first, sometimes maybe you will be constrained. Your thought will be limited to such a formula. But please, you know, actually why so many clustering and so many different papers are provided, because once you have you can prove that your logic is correct. Actually, just what I mentioned in the beginning, you can develop your own algorithm, right? Yeah, so please not think only this formula is appropriate, is correct. No, there are many possible ways. There are various formula could be applied in such an algorithm. Okay, then we can use external evaluation by cluster quality. Of course, the purity is higher than we will. I think this the classifying result is more acceptable. We can use purity. So I think you can check this one. For example, this graph is more easier to understand. For if we have 3 clusters, as you can see, 3. Cluster 1, purity, okay, and that we use this function, okay, use this function. Purity is 1 divided by 1 divided by 6, okay, and multiplied by maxima 5, 1, and 0, okay. 5 is 1, right? Red 5, 1 is blue, 0 is green, no green, right? No green. So for if class 1, we call this the red cluster. Actually, I think its purity is 5 divided by 6. Okay, and the second one you can choose the same. Okay, you want to compute the class 2 purity. Okay, for example, if this is about the blue one. Okay, this is the red, this blue, this is green. So you can use the formula to compute the purity to see. So we also have some numerical index to see how your clustering algorithm perform in the last stage, because we can use the numerical comparison between different algorithms to see which performs the best. And this is also, okay, you can also render index, use render index. For example, your points, all the points, okay, all the points, you can use this one. One is the same class is the ground truth, and the same cluster in cluster. Actually, this is very similar to the ROC curve, this idea, okay. And for example, if I think it should be in the right class, and it is really in the right class, okay, then it will be in this place, okay. And the different classes, right, different classes, and it's really different cluster, then it's what. So actually this value, okay, these two value divided all the sum, the sum of the 4 value. Actually we call this accuracy, because you can the same case the ground truth, yeah, you got it right, and the different case in the ground you also can tell right. So for this block you can use these 2 values, the sum of these 2 values divided by all the values, okay, the sum of the all values, we call this accuracy. And the detail of this formula you can check here, okay, the random index. So this is actually it's come from the ROC curve, So if you are interested, you can see more about this one. Let me show you. You can just type this. This is very popular in the medical research by using ROC curve. This one. Sorry. Okay. Yes. Okay, ROC curve. So its full name is this one: receiver operating characteristic ROC curve. Okay. It's a very popular way, ROC curve. So in ROC curve definition, actually, because you know sometimes you will translate to Chinese automatically, okay, just like this. This function just like this. Yeah. So if you are interested in such field, actually you can read more the detailed formula about how this come from. Okay, you can check how this come from. I'm sorry, because maybe our time is limited. We should keep going. Yeah, these are the same definitions in ROC curve. Okay, so Before we go into the tree diagram, I spend, we also give you maybe 3 or 4 minutes, about 4 minutes, okay, to try this data. This is the iris data. Let's take a short look about this one. This is old data. Actually, it's old data, long ago. So you can see it's about 1936. But in the old day, I think this scholar recorded this data. The characteristic of the flower is very good and very complete. So we can still utilize them today very good. So the data, let's check. Okay, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The data have, you can say this maybe the final is the classification for this flower. Okay, so you can see he has five variables in the data sets. The first one is sepal length, okay, and the measure in centimeter. And the second one, and the second column is the sepal width, and also in cm. And the third one is petal in cm. The final one is petal in cm. And the fifth column, he will tell you which flower, the classification of each flower is maybe iris setosa, iris verticula, or virginica. It's from Latin, so you can Spanish, I think. So this is the data set. Okay, this is the data set. I remember it's about maybe 200 or 300. Yeah, I don't remember. So maybe we can check that. Okay, so now let's see the second model. Go here. So this is the small explanation about data set. Now we use this data set. What we try to do, we try to do this tree. Okay, we try to make a tree like this. So can we use Python program to classify all the observed sample into a tree clustering like this? Okay, yes, we can, sure. I already provided example. So we go to the final page about model, okay, and type. Okay, so yes, you already see. Again, so you can see I also import data set from here, secure from data set, and erase is data set load erase. So it's from data set, you see from here, also this library. Okay, so erase come in. Okay. Yeah, and we go from, I think it's go from the 1, 2, 3. Okay, and the variable is 2 to 4. So remember, it's yeah, I think you still remember 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one, I think this is the classification of the flower. Okay, yes. So you can also index the length back to the actual data sets. And after that, so I import directly agglomerative clustering. It's very straight. And now I try to class 3, and you can use 1. Okay, and linkage you can choose where. So actually, this, do you remember? This is just match. I just told you here. Okay, here. You can choose which one you want. Single link, complete link, central link. Okay. And we go back here. This one. Okay. And after that, please fit the model. This is the first one. We go from the first section. This is the limitation for the Python notebook. You must from the first section. Okay, load the iris data. Then import the algorithm. Then, okay, I tell you, I try you use this sample class 2, 3 group. Then I use this fit because I already defined MLO is this one. So now I use this one to fit my model. So you will see the data like this. So actually there are not so many samples. So you can see not so many. I remember just maybe 200, about 200. Because I used the data set many times before. And after that, so I use this one, CP cluster hierarchy, okay? And now I use this one, also word, method is word. Okay. Then please, final, give me the tree, okay, give me the tree. Okay, so now you get the tree and all the sample. So if you make this figure a bigger size, like last time, we also use to adjust the figure size. Do you remember? We used the Yahoo Finance. So if you can also make it this figure larger, you can see all the sample belong to different cluster one by one. So where is 3 here? If you use 3 here, 1, right? Yeah, 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Okay, let's take about 4 minutes. Okay, about 4 minutes. So we'll go back about 7:20. Okay, so please enjoy this demo and go ahead, try yourself. Okay, any problem? I hope you enjoy the demo. I think is this will be the last slide for the progress of week 4. Week 4, okay? About the classroom. And we will continue about next one. I think the progress in week 4 and week 5 are very useful in marketing analysis. If you really want to launch some term project, a student project or graduation project about this field, I hope you remember the method or the code I shared to you today. And I think they will be very useful if you visiting the market analysis later. Okay, now let's go on. Okay, on the progress about the week 5, actually is association rule. So far, we talking about many models about machine learning, right? For example, regression. Okay, regression, moving average. Please recall these methods. And we also now we just finished the cluster. And now we go to a more thread. I think it's more thread about association rule. What is the association rule? Actually, it's quite simple. That I try to mining the rules to find. For example, if the customer is male, what will he do? What will he do? He will buy more products. He will prefer more specified product or specified color or something like that. So actually, you can find this trip to exploring the relationship between the causes and the consequence, and who responds this relationship. Actually, the data should be collected from your customer. Okay, what is association rule? Actually, it's quite straight. Association rule mining is the name is named. Association rules are simple. That means we try to explore if length statement within this observed data. What's the relationship? What's the relationship within the observed data? Okay, and that effort will help us discover relationship between independent relational database or other data repositories. So actually, if you define your causes as the set of X, then actually the observed consequence should be the set of Y. So actually we try to define a relationship, okay, from X to Y, okay. If X happens, then Y happens, and we try to define such a relationship. So now I think you believe this relationship actually is very easier and very straight. Okay, so if len, if X then Y, right? I just defined. An association rule has two parts. One is if, okay, this is the part of an antecedent part and a consequent, okay. Antecedent part you can also call it the cause part, and the consequent part, or the observation part. okay, because maybe the customer already is make some decision. You already purchased something. So what you observed, you can use in observation. It's already happened. And this is a very popular. It's a very common, very popular in data mining about the basket analysis. Actually, I think it's come from United States, about 70 or 80. What is market basket analysis? You know, once you go to a supermarket, you go to a mall, actually purchase many different various items, right? You could purchase maybe clothes. You could also purchase food. You could also purchase maybe anything, anything you need. So in the late about the 1980, in the early about 1990s, I think some experts in the United States, they are interested in marketing. They try to analyze. For example, okay, please see the example. I show here. If the first customer, he purchased 3 items, for example, A, B, C, okay, and then please don't mind what the real name for the ABC, because we can, when this data transferred into big data analysis, I think you know, you just see the number, okay, maybe you just a string in program. So we don't care about the actual name or the real name, what they are. So if the first customer, he purchased A item, B item, and C item. The second is purchased A, C, D, okay? The third is purchased B, C, D, for example, or something like that. So now I try to make a summary. May I conclude that if the customer purchase B, then he or she will purchase C. Can I or may I make such a prediction? Okay, please think about that. May I? And what is the accuracy for my prediction? Okay, I restate. I say again, if the customer buy a B item, may I predict he or she also buy the C item at the same time? Am I right? Here, please check. Yes, you are right here. B and C, right? Together. B and C, this is okay. And BC, this is okay. And BC, okay. So, it's not bad because your sense, okay? If 5 customers, your prediction actually hit 3 times, right? Okay, and the 3, if 3 divided by 5, then you have accuracy about 60%. Wow, that's good. That's not bad. Okay. Yeah. So now I think now you have a basic idea about basket analysis. Okay. So what is the use for basket analysis? If I can predict a purchasing behavior for a specified customer, actually, do you notice that if you go into a website, there are many pop out advertisement? Do you remember? Why are these advertisements automatic comes out? Actually, you know, because in the back end, I think they already make a basket analysis like this, okay? like this. So when when your eyes stay on the B item, I think the website will push the C item coming out as the pop-out window. Right? This is I think it's the semi or real artificial intelligence, whatever. But this will push you to see the information about the item at the same time. So why the website want to design an automatic pop-out window like this? Because they know if I push the C item out, maybe I have 60% right chance you will buy the C item. So what is the benefit if you use the basket analysis? Well, that means I think I can promote my sales about for the C items, right? So that is very useful. Now you know now, okay? And in the old day, because maybe they don't have so many websites. So what are they using for such information? They will, for example, in a supermarket, I think they can arrange these two items stay as close as they can. Okay, because they know many people, for example, 60% once buy a B item, he will buy the C item. So in the physical, okay, in the physical location, actually I can put these items as close as they can. So once the customer come in, he buys the item because it's very close. So he will buy the C item at the same time. Also promote our sales, right? So that's very good. That's very good. Of course, I think more analysis today we can do because I think you know this system, right? Point of sale. And once you want to go to check out, I think you'll hear sound of beep, 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 okay? This sound means they already read the item come into the system. So actually, each customer, okay, your record about today's purchase behavior, I think every day, they can make a relationship like this. So I think in the back end, if the company, if the boss wants, it can make a very precise basket analysis, even if he can link this product to your personal information, right? Once you use this card, also transmit your, for example, the information for the card holder, okay, a male or female, maybe education, something like that, or location, and so now you know more. If more data we get, or if more data are available to fit in such a system, actually I think this could be very, very useful about the basic analysis. And I think they are many applications, so you can imagine. Okay. So again, I remember, okay. So I remember in the old day, we all know the paperwork. I think if today we're talking about the cyber security, right? And when you look back to the paperwork won't have the problem of cyber security, right? Because they are paper. Just joking. Yeah. Because if you reveal more information online, actually you'll face more issue about cybersecurity. Yeah, that's the different environment. Okay. If you just use paper, okay, to transmit, to transport the information, then won't be the issue of cybersecurity. Okay. And association rule find all sets. So please remind these three, because these three index could be measured by math formula. Okay, we will take a look about this one. Association rule find all sets of items. Okay, we can call this item sets. So actually this is item sets, right? So for example, if you have a product, for example, you have product from item A to item Z. So the item set will be A, B, C, D, blah, 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 to Z, okay? Then you have 26 elements in the item set. And that have support greater than the minimum support, okay? So later we will define what is support, how to define, how to compute, okay? And using the large item set to generate the desired rule, let have confidence greater than the minimum confidence. So confidence, actually, I already showed you a basic concept of confidence. Do you remember? Maybe I have 60% confidence about my assumption. What is my assumption? I say that a customer buying B will buying C. That's why I just discussed. So maybe I have 16% confidence about this reason. Okay, and the lift of a rule is the ratio of the support to left expected if X and Y were independent. Okay, so that if they are not independent, of course the ratio, okay, and that the ratio will be lower, okay, will be lower. Okay, so that's the basic formula. Let's check about this, okay. This is the old sample you want to analyze this, okay, support, confidence, and lift. So you must compute, this is frequency, okay, frequency. That means your desire X and your desire Y, how many you found in your sample, okay, and divided a whole collected sample. Okay, so you must define your causes first. Okay, your causes and consequence you must define first. So the program will go deep into your bigger data set to compute all the frequency satisfying your set condition, and just divided by this, okay, by this. And the confidence, okay, confidence, just this like the, did you remember? Actually, it's really similar to the conditional probability. Yeah, because once X existed, okay, then we compute the frequency from X to Y. So actually, in the traditional statistics, I remember this is the formula for the conditional probability, conditional under the condition of X, under the condition of X. And lift, okay, lift is this one, okay. Support, you already have support, okay, and supporter X and multiplied by supporter Y, okay. So later if we run the Python program and this show the index, please know how they comes from. And of course, most of the time we focus on this one, right? And we are very interested in how, if my assumption is my reasoning from X to Y existed, and how much support, how much confidence, and how much lift. Okay, so using the formula, okay, we just define overlay. Actually, you can see there are 4 rules here. Okay, there are 4 rules here. From A to D, okay, by support. We can check, okay. A to D, I just show one example, okay? Just one example. From A to D, this is a rule, right? This is a rule. So, okay, so A to D. So you must find A to D, and all the sample is 5, okay? A to D, it will be support. So how many cases, okay, support from A to D? Look. 1, right? 2, only 2, do you see? And how many samples you have? You observed 5 samples. So 2 divided by 5. Simple, okay? Okay, simple, okay. And the under, okay? Under 2 cases. Oh, under the X, okay, then we try another one, okay? This one, competence. Frequency, A to D, right? A to D, and must under condition of A, okay? And under condition of A, how many cases you have? 1, 2, 3, 3, right? 3. And how many cases A to D holds? 1, 2. Okay, so 2 divided by 3. Okay, is that clear? Also later, actually all the computation just like this, but it will be done by Python program. So don't worry. Okay. And so this is the a priori algorithm. In the Python, actually we use a priori algorithm. So for example, these are 2. We will try to find the maximal common set. Okay, if you have 4, okay, the number, this is just the number. For example, number 10, number 20, number 30, number 40. Let's just define 4 various customers. And the first customer and the 10, number 10, he bought ACD. Okay, number 20, he bought a BCE, for example, like this. Okay, and a priori algorithm, how it operates. Okay, you will go into the first scan. Let's check. Okay, and all the item. Okay, is compute all the support. You see, the support A, I think is 2 times. Do you see? A 2 times. Okay, and B 3 times. B, right? Number 20, number 30, and number 40. 3 customers. So support 3. And C also 3. You can check. But D is the 1, right? So D maybe it's a minor, not important. So we go into the next one. We'll cut D. So only ABC item set will be analyzed into the next step. So ABCE. Then ABC, what the combination we will get? Just like this. AB, AC, AE, BC, BE, CE. Okay. And the second scan will go here again. AB, any AB? Yes, 1, right? AC, any AC? 1, 2, right? 2. Okay, just like this again. Okay. So he come in 2. And we delete the list 1. So AC kept, BC kept, BE, CE go into the next stage. Then we'll go into until no more elements could be added in. So finally, maybe BCE. So in this, and the maximum possibility for the rule BCE, that means these 3 elements should exist at the same time. That means maybe he bought the BC and you will bought the E, or bought the BE, you will bought the C, something like that. Okay, so this is your rule. Okay, finally, this is your rule. Okay, this is the basic concept of a priori algorithm. Okay, now we have 2 examples. You can please also try about this. One is the data set. Okay, one is the data set. Yeah, this is the real data set about grocery. So you can see on the first one customer, he bought shrimp, almonds, avocado, vegetable mix, green grape, whole wheat flour. Okay, the first one. The second one, bought this item. The third one, bought this item. Blah blah blah. Okay. So how many data you have? I forgot. Okay. I think no one try to analyze this data by staying up the night, right? Because we have 7,000. Okay, more than 7,000. Okay. Okay, now use this and you can go. Use this Python. Use this Python. Okay, remember, please download the data set first, okay? And here, please upload the file. I remember I told you last time, okay? And, okay, then we'll show all the data and, okay, analyze the data and finalize. I think you will, oh, okay, rule here, you see that? Okay, support, competence, and lift. Oh, how fast, right? Okay, I give you 5 minutes. Please try, okay? Please try. We'll go back here about 50, okay? About 750. Please go. So I think now all of you have the powerful tools, right? Powerful models in the basics of machine learning. Yeah, I hope you can launch them, make some experiments for them in your student project, okay, or real market survey. And I think you will find the results are interesting. Okay. So I think now you know how to generate, okay, the association rules from big data sets. And the final topic, we are talking about the more advanced topic. Okay. So actually it's a short review. I'll guide you a short review about my earlier work about the affinity data mining. So did you remember? I tell you actually you can define your own affinity in addition to the traditional distance function in the Euclidean space. Actually, you can define. So yes, so I'll share about this article. Yeah, advanced topic. I was talking about affinity. Okay. And so far, I think this model may be only in Excel, only in Excel form. So this is the model. You can download the Excel from here. And because I'm sorry, I still don't have time to translate into a Python model, but I hope I have time. And the logic, okay, about the logic is here. But before we go to infinity, actually you can check. It has some relationship with the support. We just defined the function of support. So actually the affinity is developed based on the basic concept of support. Do you remember support about this one? This one. Okay, support. Okay, please remember. Now, in the affinity, actually, I just define, I subjectively define this support as affinity. So actually, you can define any affinity you want, okay? You can also define confidence. You can also define lift. Or you can also define a linear combination of these three one. Or I think this idea will extend your original imagination, okay? Or maybe theory, okay? And so I just simply use this one. Okay, I just simply use it. I define support as my affinity. Okay, so you can check how I use this in the mathematical application.
Sorry, sir. I can hear your voice.
Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, I'm sure you about this paper. I'm talking about this paper is published some years ago, so you can maybe 2009. Yeah, it's long ago. I used the data mining. Okay, use data mining in the delayed diagnosis. Okay, the delayed diagnosis is a very special case. That means maybe some serious symptom was not diagnosed once the patient is sent into the department of emergency medicine of hospital, but after maybe some hours, okay, he becomes more serious. Okay, it's become maybe more severe in the symptom, so he will be sent into the intensive caring unit, ICU. So we try to find the gap and what did we miss, okay, miss in diagnosis. So try to save the lives of the patient. That's the paper, and that's the goal of the paper. Okay. And in addition to this formulation, I try to tell you, because I use the, because we just learned about this support, right? Support, yeah. Yeah, we just learned about the idea about support. I use the idea of support. Okay, I use the idea of support, this one, as the affinity. Okay, as the, actually you can define your own affinity. Maybe you prefer confidence, maybe you prefer lift, but I use this one rather than traditional equilibrium distance. Okay, and because most of time the clustering use equilibrium distance, but I didn't use, I use support. So support in this paper is redefined as my affinity. And okay, go here. So where's my paper? Oh, here. And okay, so again, I use the very similar idea from the basket analysis. Okay, so you can, for example, I have 5 samples, right? And I found the 2 important symptoms, and this is the causes. Okay, and I try to figure out, for example, which causes is more important lead to the death. Okay, one means yes, I observe this symptom, and zero means no. Okay, so actually I use this data mining, and so I collect the causes. You see, this is the consequence, and these are causes. So I collect age, tri-age, consciousness, blood pressure. These causes are suggested by the doctor. Okay, and after that I find some rule, right? And I use the data mining prediction accuracy to compare with other model. We are talking about neural network next time. We are talking about neural, so not bad, right? You see, not bad. Okay, and so RC. So if you are interested, you can see I have a very detailed explanation about RC curve in this study. Yeah. So RC curve, if you are more close, okay, if you are more have the shape like this, that means your model is better. So affinity blue, right? I think it's just a little behind the SVM, support vector machine, yellow one, but I just a little behind. So that means my model is not bad, but a very similar concept about the association rule. Okay. So final, I just and take some time to give a short tour about my earlier work about data mining. Okay, I think this all the I think this is all the presentation I give to you about the progress about the association rule and some of the advanced topic about data mining. So any problem? I think it's almost time. Any problem? Okay, if no, I think I will see you soon in the next week. Okay, and our final progress. We are talking about the neural network, and I also show you some more advanced topic in maybe deep learning and maybe image classification and image recognition. Okay, no problem. Okay, if no problem, then see you next week. Okay.
See you next week, sir.
Okay, thank you. Good night.
Yeah. Good night.
Thank you, Prof.
Aku ke out. Buat besok, siapa yang tadi yang tanya ada kelas atau enggak?
Aku.
Nih, aku tadi tanya ibunya tuh jawab minggu ini tidak ada. Oh, kalau gini baru on cam semua. On cam kalian.
Is that true?
Minggu ini tidak ada, dia tatap muka, belajar mandiri saja. Tapi aku nggak tahu ini buat simulasi offering F1 doang atau buat semua matkul.
Alhamdulillah, terima kasih Mbak Ben sarannya.
Oh, berarti besok ada kelas ya, Mbak?
Harusnya sih nggak ada, tapi dilihat terus apa si pejarnya. Soalnya kan aku bukan yang pegang si pejar kalian. Saya takutnya ada tugas, jadi.
Oh, tadi kira UTS.
TS guys.
Emang kemana Mbak Bu Aisyah? Nggak dengar tadi maaf.
Aisyah ke Jogja. Aisyah ke Jogja.
Siapa aja, Mbak? Dosennya ke Jogja, Mbak?
Kamu mau semua ke Jogja? Apa semua kosong, Pak?
Enggak ya, aku nanya doang, Mbak. Mengantisipasi.
Bu Fer minggu ini juga nggak bakal ada.
Oh, berarti Parudi, Mbak.
Parudi aman di kampus.
Oh.
Selalu ada.
Mbak Ben,
Tanya.
tadi kan
Apa
katanya Bu Vertik nggak ada.
Iya,
Tapi
Fer belum
Mas
ada.
saya barusan ngabarin aku kalau besok UTS manajemen jasa.
Berarti Mas Sahya yang jaga.
Tapi Mas saya bilang, nggak tahu ya yang jaga siapa, aku takut belum bangun gitu. Terus aku bingung, siapa?
Sahya sih nggak bakal enggak.
Berarti tetap UTS ya Mbak Ben?
Iya.
Oke, thank you.
Ada lagi? Udah kan? Selamat minggu UTS buat kalian semua.
Oh iya,
Aku
iya.
tutup. Kita tutup. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih, Mbak.
Sama-sama. Bye.